Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of the Bonsai Blacksmith. Time has come to cut the air layers off the parent tree and see how we did. We have roots. Let's get started. We got some roots here, as you can see. I'm going to save you all the tedious part of me sawing back and forth, but we have visible roots here in the soil. Let's cut these two off. So here's the first air layer free from the parent tree. So I don't need all this material. In fact, I could have made several air layers, but this was a test, so I only made one on this branch and one on another branch. So let's go ahead and take these apart and see what these roots look like. Believe it or not, I really don't need much higher than here. So I'm going to free this whole cutting from here to the roots. And that way it'll be a nice stubby trunk for the bonsai. All right, so we're just going to break this apart and see what we're working with in here for roots. I got my hand-forged pen knife here, but unfortunately I left it out in the rain so it rusted, but you know, I have a way of fixing that. I got my ways, my secrets as a blacksmith. I cut this duct tape here off. This was just really holding it in place tightly. Had a few layers there. Let's see what we're working with. This long one, I'm not sure I actually have any roots on that. I think it just broke free by itself. It was just attached. I think I'm afraid to pull it out. But it might, yeah, it does come out. It's got nothing on it. Unfortunately, maybe it'll be some cuttings. I'll give it a shot. I'll cut that later. This is what we care about right now. So, I'm gonna zoom that up for you guys and get a close up of what we're working with. Alright, so there's a zoom. You can see better what's going on. Try to strip this off. I have some a pot here prepared with prepared soil ready to go. So once we see these roots, go ahead and put it right into the pot. I don't think I'm gonna do anything to the roots. I'm just gonna transfer it. Not much I can do bonsai wise. I've already shortened, as you can see, cut this down. I can put some wound sealant on that. I've already shortened it. Not much I can do bonsai wise until it establishes itself as an individual tree instead of being a branch with roots attached. So that's what we're working on first. Get these roots liberated, but not hurt. Yeah, we got roots, guys. Success. Just trying to be careful with this. Oh yeah, it's doing really well. I'm going to just cut the bag free. Well, I can't there. Looks like we got maybe ants nesting on the inside here with this little colony. Not so good. But on the other side, we got roots growing all over the place. So let's open that up. See what we're working with. It's a very strange mixture of things going on there. So put that a little closer. Without blocking your view, of course. And I have no idea where these roots come from. Unless they accidentally got cut off. No, we have roots on this, but I think somehow they got broken off. We have roots down here. So basically, I don't know what happened, guys. We clearly have a bunch of roots here. Very must have been more fragile than I realized. We got root growing up here. We got a root down here. I think the roots broke off when the bag fell off, and they were that fragile. So that's good to know for the next one. So I'll break this into a two-part thing. You live and you learn. Let's go ahead and get this planted up then. Let's go ahead and just... I'm going to use some of its original soil, but not much of it. I'm sure it's been using it to grow, saturating it. The fresh soil here, and just place this in here deep. Already missed the soil a little bit more, so it seats it better. I'll add some more soil as well. There we go. Let's get that started. And I'm going to get an update, of course, after a week or two, probably 2 weeks of seeing what happens. That's my bad. I didn't know they were that fragile. So when I take off the next one, I will take the bag off before we do anything aggressive cutting. Maybe I lost it when I was cutting this. So let me just put the soil around here. And I'm pretty sure this is going to grow into a a tree. I'm fairly confident. We do have roots on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep packing the soil in fairly firmly around, so it doesn't. So we don't have any movement in there. The movement will undo us, you know. So let's get that in there and get that a spritzing. All right, so I just back edited here. I just realized you guys didn't see. I basically was talking that the roots are very fine. I did see where it had broken off, and they're very fragile, but they're very frail. But it's exactly the type of roots you want for bonsai. So I went and misted this 360 degrees. We'll zoom back out, maybe. There we go. That's what we're working with right now. So I'm going to put some wound sealant on here now. All right, so I got a mess here. Well, we'll take care of that later. I was surprised to see how fragile those roots were. That's a good thing, though. We want those types of roots for our bonsai. Looking at the rings alone, the branch that we cut off was at least 10 years old. So that's a 10-year-old branch that we air layered. Go ahead and put on the wound sealant. Generously applying this to the wound, including the bark that had ripped. That way, to keep the moisture in there, allow this to focus on giving that energy to these buds, and they'll reposition in the sun. I'm not going to touch them right now. I'll start training that in a few months once it had a chance to establish itself. So that is a sky flower, or a sky flower or skyberry tree, air layering. So I'm going to save the next tree for part 2, and I'm going to be much more fragile about removing that bag of roots from there and how I cut around it. That way we won't lose the main bunch of roots that I've been trying to put there for the last month. I've noticed roots there for a good month now, and I've just kind of let them just establish themselves. In the future, if you do this air layering for this particular species, you may want to let that air layering sit there for 4 or 5 months instead of just 2 or 3 like me. That way the roots are getting thicker and they might not be so fragile. So, that all being said, thank you for hanging in there with me. I'm going to give you a quick zoom up on this, and after that I'll set you up for part 2. All right, let's go. You see how big of a trunk this is going to be once it establishes itself. These shoots are promising. There's going to be some more shoots going on here, I believe. Somewhere on here. There we go, down here even. We'll see some growth, I'm sure. But this is going to probably be the apex. And as that grows, it'll close this wound up. It'll be a nice scar. Alright, so that's for the first part of the air layering for this tree, for the skyflower tree. The other one's still on the parent tree. I'm going to cut that off tomorrow and make a video for part 2 so you guys can check that out. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. You can see the video I made a few months ago, how I made the air layering, how I prepared the tree, what I've used on the tree, how I secured the soil to the tree. And we'll see each other next time. Until then, consider liking and subscribing. Take care.